Hey, buddy.
Welcome back to Thigh Hooker headquarters.
Yeah, have some tea.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, nice mug.
To the next level of power.
So, if I may start, the first order of business. Our good friend Mike Gould just received a quad tear, I believe is what he said. We were talking on the phone tonight.
Yeah.
I just want to wish him the best.
Yeah, all the best. Mike Gould, the Crusher.
Multiple world champion.
Probably 47-time national champion Mike Gould.
A lot, yeah.
So everybody send your messages to Mike. He's going to be laid up for a while. Give him some tips on. Yeah, Michael doesn't need any tips.
He doesn't need tips to get strong, but big shout out to Big Mike. Get well soon. That's all I got so far. Let's
yeah.
On any time.
Yeah. Well, so what's going on in the world right now? It's pretty quiet, huh? Pretty quiet.
Well, except for the kitchen when we're trying to record, but
that's all right. No big deal. I feel like everybody is so nervous to do any kind of major event still. It's been that way since March. Events have been shut down. And in my opinion, it's more, that November date is more scary than ever. Like
the USA election, dude?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I feel like as a Canadian, I feel like it's going to be really hard to cross that border this winter.
Probably, yeah.
I worry about it. I think we might not see, I don't know. I feel like it's going to have to be, I feel like right now, to make stuff work for you, I feel like you've got to make it happen yourself. Like I wouldn't want to hold a big event myself personally, and I wouldn't want to count on anyone else holding a big event either. But it's a great time just to go around and arm wrestle and train.
And you can do that with.
Bam! Oh, there's some product placement right there. Get on the app if you're not on the app. But there's some big stuff coming.
That's what that is.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Dangling.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. There is some big stuff coming with armbet.
Why don't you tell us the big stuff that's coming with armbet?
Couple days, maybe a week. You're gonna be able to do matches. I'm telling you, you'll be able to do matches over the app. Probably less than a week. So stand by. It's gonna be amazing. It's our next step of many, many, many steps. So I'm so excited about it. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna arm wrestle on the app. Really? Yeah, a lot of people think I'm retired.
That begs the question.
When do you think an athlete is at their prime?
I guess it would depend on the sport. Some sports lend themselves earlier, like gymnastics, for instance, or gymnasts, very early, pre-20. Strength sports tend to be a lot later, even into the 40s perhaps. So I guess it depends on the sport, but you're likely speaking specifically of arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Have a drink of your cola, buddy. In your prime, that wouldn't happen.
Oh my God! And it's neat to me, like when you talk about like when is an athlete in their prime. I feel like.
Why don't you take this and run with this? I think you got it.
I feel like.
I'll just sit back.
Before the age of 20, for the most part, for a lot of people, and I'm going to say for the majority of people, no, there are the odd case where athletes are super committed before the age of 20. But I think a lot of times before you're 20, you're still quite diverse. And you're in like just a massive period of growth before you're 20. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't really specialize too early. I think when you're 20 to 25, physically, you're probably, across all domains, I would say that you're probably physically the best.
How old were you when you won the military army?
I was 25. 24, I got third, 25. And so that's the thing, like when I remember, like, so I know that when I was between 20 and 25, like I was training probably, no kidding, I was probably training like 7 hours a day. And just going to bed and waking up the next morning and doing it all over again. And I was training kind of everything, and I was still a bit diverse. Like I had arm wrestling, I was doing basketball, I was doing military stuff. I think at that point in your career, between 20 and 25, I think it's a good idea to start to know what you really love. I think volume is really important at that age. You know, like I think at that age, you have a really unique capability to do a lot of work. Like,
And at what point did you specialize in arm wrestling?
Yeah, it was probably in the next block. Probably, so I feel like 20 to 25, you're probably physically super resilient, basically uninjured. You know, you have a lot of gifts, basically. Obviously, it takes work, but when you look at your lifespan, I think at 25 to like 30, you probably start to specialize for the most part. I feel like from 25 to 30, you're probably already in some ways, maybe not as, like overall, you're probably already in some ways starting to even diminish a little bit. But in all the areas that you've chosen, you're obviously taking huge strides forward from 25 to 30. Like as an arm wrestler, I think those are some pretty good years, 25 to 30. 30 to 35. That's the magic.
That's magic.
I think so. But I think it's different now, like now more than ever. I think that age gets pushed and you have the ability to kind of blip.
Why is that?
Blip? Well, I think for the most part, when you look at a combat sport, there's that balance of physicality and experience. But experience comes at a cost. Like a cost of injuries. And I feel like by the time you are in between your 30s and 35, I feel like you've probably had a lot of lumps already. But hopefully they haven't overtaken you. And by the time you're 35, typically with the aging process, it becomes hard to maintain your physicality. Like a lot of people have surgeries or whatever. I mean, not me.
You had like 3.
Oh, right, I did. Never mind. I had a couple surgeries, yeah. Right around that time. 35 to 40. I can't believe I forgot that. Memory starts to go, too. I don't know what that's about. Anyways.
Is there life after 40?
In arm wrestling, yeah, for sure. I think that what happens is the most important thing after that 30 to 35 year, what I would say is typically an easy place to have a natural peak. I would say typically the most important thing past that age is motivation. I think.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you talk about like, there's so many examples of the older athletes still kicking ass, but the thing that's consistent is a lot of motivation. Yeah.
Dedication, time in, consistency, injury-free-ish.
Yeah. A lot of factors now, and nowadays it's just being pushed more and more. I mean,
did we speak after 40 yet? 40 to 45 or 40 to 50 or?
Yeah.
Did you say anything about that?
Well, we're kind of getting there. 40, 45.
We're reaching your age bracket soon.
Well, it's starting to get close. Yeah, I think that's the cool thing. Like, I think that once you get to the ages of like 40 and beyond, I feel personally that the amount of energy you have just becomes more limited, and I feel like you can still be awesome at your sport, but the rest of the stuff, I feel like it really starts to fall. Like, I mean, don't ask me to run or do anything, really.
Not anymore.
No,
right?
No, not anymore, no.
Your kids can beat you.
Yeah, they can all beat me now. So yeah, it's neat being a older athlete, kind of still thinking that you can be relevant with, 30 to 35-year-old athletes that are, or younger, that are, still chomping and still don't have a lot of limitations. Experience. Yeah.
So oftentimes this question to asked to athletes: at what age do you think Devon Larratt was the best? Like, if you were to pick a version, say 45, 40, 35, 30, etc., was there a time period you think I would put this guy as maybe my peak or the best, or who would win perhaps?
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting question, because typically the best is described as most likely to win a match.
Okay, sure.
And the interesting thing about your progression is, this is going to sound really weird, but the way that you're going to be good doesn't always have to be that. Is that like a cop-out answer? Like, okay. How about this? 33.
Oh, that has to get more specific than that. What happened at age 33? Like, why do you? I'm just wondering why you picked 33 over.
I feel like for me, 33 was a very interesting time. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't have the chance to hang with that 33-year-old a couple times in my career, even still potentially in the future. But
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, let's not get too far ahead. But I'm very sure that at 33, there's a whole lot of things working at a really high level. 33 for me was relatively unaffected by injury. Very strong. Mentally with it. Technically sound. 33, I think, is when a lot of things come together. And it's good. I think that most athletes are probably their most dangerous just before they do what is one of their largest accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you can argue it, and hunger is so important for an athlete. If you don't have that drive, everything else becomes very difficult. Very difficult. Like, if you don't have a goal or a specific motivation, it's going to be really hard to perform. And the guy who's not yet a world champion, but just about to be, that's a really, really dangerous athlete. Really dangerous.
So when you're describing that, basically, you can kind of plug that into today.
Yeah.
With COVID and with nothing directly in front of you, no. At your advanced age, the motivation potentially dropping a bit.
Well, yeah, and look, like for me, like I'm always going to be involved with arm wrestling, but my motive, to me, it's just so frustrating to bank on any event of great magnitude. And as a guy who's 45, I don't feel like I live on the mountaintop. I feel like I can pop up to visit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. It takes a lot. Like I can just say hello one day, and then I'm gonna be living in my basement for a few weeks afterwards, hurting. But whereas when you're 25 to 35, you're operating at that level basically, consistently. And without that concrete goal, I think for a lot of people, it's hard. Like I feel like right now, the guys who are living on the mountaintop, I feel like, I feel like it's got to be a guy like Levon and Vitaly. Like, I see Vitaly, like, you watch Vitaly's career. Vitaly, was gold medals, switched to pro, started to take his training super serious. You see his weight now, and he's big.
Yeah.
Big. He's 140 kilos, and he's curling like a ton of weight. And this is a guy who's arm wrestled since he was a baby. Like, I feel like a guy like Vitaly, like, every single day is right there,
I'd like to ask you a question, say, regarding MMA or fighters, or even almost in any sport. Would you, as a fan, like to watch your favorite who may have been at the top at one time continue, even though he's struggling, or would you like to see him go out on top? And I could give you some examples, like Chuck Liddell, for instance, who was at the top, hung around a little bit too long, took a couple hard losses. There are other guys who were right at the top and kind of finished and just went out.
Yeah.
There's quite a discrepancy there, but where would you, as a fan, where do you like to see people sort of bow out or continue?
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, I want to see the people that I think are awesome. So I want to see them keep doing their thing forever. Like, I don't like to see them go away. I don't like that. Like, I think Mike Tyson coming back is so wicked.
I think so too.
It's so awesome. Like, to me,
he's unique.
Well, he's one of those guys. He's like recognized champion. You want to see more of him. You know that every time he gets out, it's gonna be exciting, right?
Yeah.
Every time, it's gonna be amazing. I don't care. I want to watch it. Same thing. I feel like once a guy kind of gets identified as having those qualities that are inspirational that you want to watch, I want to watch them throughout their entire phase of life. I want to watch the whole thing. So, yeah, so hopefully, and it's good when they can, still somewhat hang. It's good if they can kind of be on the level. You don't want to see a guy be out there and just be out of his element.
Right.
But if they can compete on some level, yeah, I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
Interesting.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I was just thinking.
Poking fun of me.
Not at all. I'm of the opposite mindset. I don't like to see people who I had put on that championship pedestal get chipped away and get beaten down by people maybe they wouldn't have lost to before. But
saying, like, with Vovoda, right? Like, Vovoda is one of the examples of our sport where he walked away like when he was unbelievable, right? So Vovoda, number one in the sport, unbeatable, an unknown distance ahead of the next closest guy, disappears, get into the Olympics, reemerges a couple years later, lays a total smackdown on Michael Todd, disappears again, appears more than 10 years later and loses to Bresnan. When he came back and pulled Bresnan, everybody was excited.
Yeah.
If somebody told me that Vovoda was coming back again, I'm in. I want to watch it. I'd pull that guy. Oh my God. Would I ever love to pull Vovoda? That, to me, oh my God. I'll go to Russia. Alexei, I'll come to Russia and I'll arm wrestle you. Let's do this. Yeah. That would be crazy to me. Like, I feel like that's the thing when you have people that have been identified. To me, like, it's just something about them you want to watch. You want to see what they're capable of because you know that they have been able to do amazing things, and you kind of always think that they can do it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's funny, right? Like, Tim. Like, it's funny because I feel like as good as Tim Bresnan was, he's never really gotten that worldwide kind of acceptance.
I think he should get more. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's interesting, right? Like, to me, he's right up there, but I don't think I think that he was a massive underdog going against Vovoda.
I don't think so. I think, no, I thought it was clear favorite for Tim in that match. I suppose online, because of the fans, etc., and sometimes people vote for their favorite. I think Alexei may have been favored, but I think if you really looked down at the match and dissected it, Tim would have been the heavy favorite, and it turns out that he was.
Well, maybe that's another thing about walking away, is when people do walk away at the peak of their career, you know, they get put into this status,
Yep.
which is somewhat unrealistic potentially.
Sure.
You know, and then when guys stick around like forever and you see the entire course,
Right.
it's like they're more understood, like they're more charted. There's less you know, wild expectations and stories, because people know this guy competes all the time. We know about where he is. Yeah.
Sometimes their legacy gets somewhat diminished.
The people who are more active.
Yeah, especially later on in their career.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, I don't like to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I guess it comes down to the individual choice. I mean, who's anybody to say what anybody can or can't do to
Right. Well, I'm not saying that.
happiness.
I would never
Yeah.
tell someone not to do it.
Yeah.
Unless it was for safety.
You heard that.
Fighting.
I don't know if Tim, you're listening, but I think John clearly just said he wanted to fight you.
That's.
I think he said that.
No, Tim. Yeah, that's not what I said. No. Mm-mm. No, I'm a Tim Breslin
Speaking of
fan.
which,
Yeah.
arm wrestler fights.
Yes.
Okay. Dave Morocco
Yes.
versus Tim Breslin.
Oh man.
I mean, why not just go there right away since we already brought up Tim?
God, if I say the wrong answer to this.
Okay, never mind that,
Yeah.
because that's terrible. Nobody wants to talk about that. Artem versus Ryan Bowen.
It's pretty hot right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Artem.
In a fight.
Oh, in a fight.
In a fight.
Artem. He's Russian.
Blue's got military training.
He's also a ginger.
Blue's bigger.
Artem's Russian.
Yeah, he's Russian. Would you bet money?
Would they actually fight?
What if they boxed?
How much do you value military training in a boxing?
Not very much.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm cheap. I'd max out at $10.
$10?
Yeah.
So you bet $10 on Artem.
Yeah. Canadian.
Okay. Listen, here's the thing. So apparently the Lachlan Todzilla match apparently is up to $48,000 of side bets. And by the time it goes, it's probably going to hit 100 if this thing keeps going.
Yeah.
If Lachlan's going somewhere, for sure Blue's going too.
Yeah.
I think that like the undercard should be a boxing match between Blue and Artem. Boxing match.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd even pay $10 extra to watch that.
I'd pay $10. I'd pay $10 to watch that.
And I'd wager 10 versus.
I'd wager. Jeez. Well,
Who do you have?
I don't know. I don't know how. I have no idea if either of them fight.
Do either of you guys fight?
Artem versus Blue Bowen in a fight. Like I feel like Blue's really one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably going to be all one-handed.
Yeah.
I feel like, Artem, he's been running from the cops. He's an immigrant. He lives in Florida.
He's sketchy.
Yeah, he's super sketchy. Yeah, you're going to have to check his gloves. Anyways.
I know that Tim Breslin would knock them both into like next week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah.
We're running out of time on this video, I think.
Anyways, guys, we just wanted to kind of shoot the breeze a little bit tonight. Talk about
Angle a few carrots.
the world. And talk about motivation for different ages of athlete. When all you 20 to 25-year-olds, get your volume. You 25 to 30-year-olds, learn how to specialize. Really, really learn your craft between 25 and 30. Between 30 and 35, all you guys out there that are really at the peak of your game, my best advice to you is don't hurt yourselves. Because at 30 to 35, you're going to want to keep pushing hard. But the truth is it starts to get tricky around those ages, and the extra pushing in the gym or pushing on the practice table sometimes is going to lead to your earlier breakdown. Like I've seen it so many times with champs and myself included. Guys start to keep trying to push really, really hard. Replicate what you're going to do on the table in a safe manner, especially 30 to 35. Those are key times to be safe. And then after that, just find ways to make yourself happy. That's it.
I've just got one request before you go.
Yeah.
So we just had sushi tonight, and your right arm was looking especially massive, and I thought
huge.
maybe a gratuitous flex for the camera.
See that?
I know you're shy, but
Getting massive. Getting massive. Power up.